And we are back on Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Shanafelt, and I am now joined by former NFL wide receiver Chris Chambers. How's it going, Chris?
I am doing well. How you guys doing up there in that cold weather?
Hey, I'm doing very well. No snow has hit Chicago yet, so I'm good.
Oh yeah, I'll take that too.
Well, Chris, I want to start this interview off by talking a little bit about your high school career. As you attended Glenville High School and Bedford High School, you were a two-time All-State football player. In basketball, you were a third-team All-State performer. And in track, you won a state champion in track in the 400-meter dash as a senior with a time of 47.1 seconds. Does that all sound correct to you, sir?
That is correct, man. I had a great high school career. Didn't really know exactly what sport I was going to be focused on in college until I actually kind of got there. And playing those different sports, season to season. Never had a chance to go home directly after school. Always had practice. And it was great. It kept me out the streets of Cleveland, Ohio, where I'm from. And I was guided pretty well with a lot of my family support, man. And I was obviously a gifted athlete. Basketball was truly my first love. And I got tricked into playing football. My uncle took me out one day and said, "Hey, why don't you go watch the varsity team practice?" And next thing you know, I was putting on equipment and stuff the next day, and all she rose from there.
Nice. You decided to attend University of Wisconsin-Madison. What was it about that school that made you want to go there?
Yeah, it was the fact that I wanted to play basketball too. So I was really good in basketball, and I had an opportunity to go to several schools just on a basketball scholarship. Obviously, football took me further, but I wanted to get the opportunity to play both sports. I've heard a lot of guys trying it, and I was big Ohio State. Grew up Ohio State, all Ohio. I wanted to go there, and at the time, they wasn't offering that same package for me. Michigan wasn't offering it. Michigan State. Barry Alvarez of the Wisconsin Badgers, he was the head coach then. He offered me the opportunity to play both sports. He didn't renege on his offer. I went there and I was able to play basketball my freshman year. Just like a freshman, just trying to get, after the Big Ten season, or after our bowl game season, I had to go right into the Big Ten season there after the guys have practiced all 3-4 months and had games and everything else. I was able to kind of step on the team and kind of do my thing, and it was a great experience for me.
Mm-hmm. You started 33 of your 43 career football games and also played guard on the basketball team, like you said. I'm sure it was a blast. Overall, what was your experience like at Wisconsin?
It was the best college experience. When I tell people, I'm like, listen, I went to Wisconsin. It was the best college experience you will ever have. Great party school every year. You notice, top 5, top 10 in partying and all that stuff. So it had the atmosphere. The fans were outstanding, obviously, from Wisconsin. The tradition was great. And, everyone was cheeseheads up there. And it was just a good experience culturally as well. It was so diverse. I met so many different people. And, myself being from the inner city, didn't get a chance to be around a lot of different cultures, growing up in high school until I actually went to Wisconsin. Kind of opened my eyes up, helped me start communicating with different cultures and different people, and really to this day, man, it was the best move I ever made in my life as far as my education was concerned.
Mm-hmm. With the 51st overall pick in the 2001 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Chris Chambers, wide receiver out of Wisconsin. How was it to hear your name get called up to the podium, Chris?
It was great, and the thing is, I was projected to go so far earlier. I was Mel Kiper at the time, had me the 20th best player in college football, went into the draft. So I sat up there. I get to some of the picks. I was promised to be picked at 15, and then I picked at 21, and then 22, and it just kind of slid from there. And I have this big old draft party, thinking I'm about to just, get picked early in the first round. And I ended up waiting to the second round, the 52nd pick, which is about 3 or 4 hours later. And I didn't realize it at first. I'm like, Miami, I was kind of salty. I was a little mad that I was picked in the second round. 10 or 11 receivers that went before me because it was a great receiving class. And but once I thought about it, I'm like, hold up, I'm going to Miami, to play football. And I thought about it, man, and I just, put my best foot forward and came down there, and it was a great experience, and I'm glad they selected me.
As a rookie for the Dolphins, you started 7 games, played in all 16 regular season games. You recorded 48 receptions, 883 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Very impressive, especially for a first-year player. Did you expect the Dolphins to use you as much as they did that year?
I was coming from Wisconsin when you ran the ball off of our leader, Ron Day. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. We went to 2 Rose Bowls back-to-back. We won them both, and we were just a hard-nosed run team, just like the team now when we let you ball. I mean, they run the heck out of the ball. The quarterback wasn't great, but he knew how to, put the ball in the air every once in a while. Now, I did play action, so I was very raw as a receiver. I was extremely athletic, though, so my athletic ability kind of helped me along once I got to the pro game. I had to learn how to be a receiver for a few years, but I really made my first couple plays in training camp there, and I didn't look back. I felt like I could play on that level. It was just great to be able to do that, and it kind of gave me a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence that I can be really good in the NFL.
I believe it was due to a sprained ankle in Week 17. You missed the Dolphins' first playoff game that season against the Ravens that year. How tough was it for you to be on the sidelines for that game? I believe it was due to a sprained ankle in Week 17. You missed the Dolphins' first-round playoff game against the Ravens that year. How tough was it to be on the sidelines for that game?
It was tough, and I didn't realize it to this day how hard it is to make the playoffs. I mean, that might have been almost the last time the Dolphins made the playoffs. I think we made it one time since then, and that was almost 15 years ago. And so I didn't take it for granted. I took it for granted a little bit. Thought we'll be back year in and year out because we had an outstanding team. Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Ricky Williams. I can name all the superstars that we had on that team for a number of years, and we had a coaching carousel, and we just never had the opportunity to make it back to the playoffs in my tenure there in Miami. And it's one thing that I regret, not being able to kind of bring fans some more playoffs and, being able to give them more opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl. But, I didn't realize at the time. I thought we were going to win that game, and I was going to be able to play that next game for sure, but it didn't happen.
You guys are listening to Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Schanfeld, talking with former NFL wide receiver Chris Chambers. Chris, let's fast forward to the 2005 season. You're still in Miami. You had a great year as you led the team with 82 receptions, over 1,000 yards receiving, and 11 touchdowns. Is it safe to say that was your best season of your professional football career?
That was one of the best seasons. Everything was a little bit more settled. I was just really coming to my own, learning how to be a wide receiver and a professional around that time. Nick Saban actually was the head coach then. Instilled a lot in me, trusted me, told me, listen, I need to be perfect in order for this team to play well. And I kind of took that and ran with it, and had a lot of opportunity to catch the ball. When you get targeted, a number of times, and your number is called, and you want to make plays, and they gave me the opportunity to make plays that year, and I had a lot of fun. And our team, was close to making the playoffs that year. Won 6 straight games, and but I would say that was probably one of the best years I ever was able to put together, based on the fact that I was able to get the ball in my hand more than any other year before then.
You made the Pro Bowl, and I got to ask you, does that mean anything to you to make the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, absolutely, because a lot of guys play this game and don't even come close to making a Pro Bowl. It basically tells you you're one of the top receivers in the NFL that year. And for myself to be, alongside Marvin Harrison, Chad Johnson, I believe Rod Smith, he was a receiver for Denver Broncos back then. We were the 4 receivers who represented the AFC that year. I was able to play with Peyton Manning and all these other guys. You see them play on TV. You see them playing when you're playing against some guys. To actually practice with them, playing the game with them. The Pro Bowl is kind of watered down some. It was great to catch balls from Peyton Manning, and him being able to throw up my first touchdown in the Pro Bowl was a great experience for me. I brought my whole family out there to see me play and enjoy that experience with me.
In the 2007 season, right before the trade deadline, you were traded to the San Diego Chargers for a second-round draft pick. Were you surprised at all by this trade?
I was totally shocked. I had no idea it was even a trade deadline. I was sitting at my home on an off day, and Cam Cameron was the coach at the time, called me up and said, listen, we traded you, come to the office, I want to talk about it. And I walked in, it was a day off, and I boo-hooed, I cried, everything. All I knew was all Miami. We were 0-6, we were 0-7. I didn't care. I just wanted to be there and be a part of the team, and I didn't get a chance to say bye to no players, no one. I was on the next thing smoking to San Diego. Tears kind of dried ever been able to play in my entire career, and things kind of turned around for me there.
Yeah, man, you said it. You went to San Diego in '07. You guys won the AFC West, went to the AFC Championship game that year to take on the New England Patriots, who at the time was undefeated. It was freezing cold out. You guys were playing in Foxborough. Unfortunately, you guys came up short 21-12. It had to be a very disappointing way to end the game and, unfortunately not make it to the Super Bowl. I got to ask you, how was that moment after that game? You guys got so far, almost to the Super Bowl. How was it to just, lose that game?
It was actually surreal. The moment before that, we had went into Indianapolis, and we had won there. And that just felt like the best thing ever. It's like, with only 14 playing left in the NFL, we have an opportunity to make it to Arizona. I think we were playing Arizona that year. That's what the Super Bowl was. And we get to New England. We really had the number. We're going back and forth with them. And I just remember this one particular play that Junior Seau, out of all people, made. We're down in his zone. We're about to score. And Junior shot the gap and stopped us. It was like a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 1. We were close to going in. And after that, the New England Patriots kind of took care of us from there. And but to be that close and never be able to get back to that point for the rest of my career, it really means something to me right now.
On Black Friday, just a few days ago, the San Diego Chargers fired head coach Norv Turner and general manager A.J. Smith. What do you think about those decisions?
Yeah, I think it was a long time coming. Norv was a great coach. I really enjoyed playing for him 2 times. I think that's why he was encouraged to bring me out there, because I had him in Miami for a few years and I had some good years up under him. And the guys really loved Norv. He was a player's coach. He was easygoing. We're all living on the West Coast playing in San Diego. He had great talent, and for whatever reason, we didn't win that game that we were supposed to win. We never won the games that we were supposed to win, and every time we traveled to the East Coast, we always get beat by New England or Pittsburgh or anybody on the East Coast of the country. For whatever reason, we just wasn't ready to play. And A.J. Smith, he brought in some of the best talent you would ever see: the LTs, the Darren Sproles, the Mike Turners, the Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates. They build their team through the Giraffe Cromarties. You see all these guys still flourishing in the NFL, and just to know that I played alongside all these guys, and now that A.J. and Norv's era is over, it's a little sad for them, but it's time for them to say they're going to get a change and move in another direction.
You spent some time in Kansas City, and that was actually the last place where you played football, was at KC. How was your time there? And I got to ask you, Chris, are you officially retired from the game?
My time there was good. I got there, the season, 7-8 games into the season with San Diego, things wasn't going my way. North wanted to kind of pull me out and not play me as much as I used to, and just not give me the opportunity to excel the rest of the season. So the team felt like they were better without me, so they let me go and actually released me. Kansas City gave me that opportunity. They were the worst team in the NFL then. So, when you get on waiver wire, the worst team can pick you up first. So Kansas City picked me up. Ended up finishing that year pretty good. Led their team and played 8 or 9 games. They ended up leading their team in receiving and touchdown and all type of stats. The next year, they rewarded me with a 3-year contract. Played alongside, Dwayne Bowe and some other guys who went to the playoffs in 2010, and which is one of my worst seasons. It was an injury-plagued season. Coming out of camp, this pretty much was the end of my career for the most part, because I had a hip injury that pretty much took me out. But I played the season with it. I broke my finger in the same year, so I'm playing with one hand, a bad hip the entire year. I missed about 6 or 7 games. Wasn't myself. After the season was over, I found out I had arthritic hip, and I wasn't able to play in the NFL anymore. And that was all she wrote for my career for the most part. To this day, I wish I would have had that exam done early in the season, and I may be on the field, right now. But it is what it is, and that's what my career entails. And I did what I can, but I didn't go out on the note that I wanted to go out on, which is something I'm going to have to think about the rest of my life.
All right, Chris, I have just a few fun questions, and then I want to talk about your gym. Does that sound good?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to start off with, what is your favorite TV show and movie?
Well, There's so many. I don't get a chance to go to the movies anymore because my wife don't like movies, so I can't go by myself half the time. But TV show, I mean, currently, I don't know if this is sad to say, but I really love the X Factor. I think it's one of the shows. I followed it the whole year. I'm into music. I love the performances, and that was probably one of my best shows this year. I love watching. Besides that, I'm watching a bunch of basketball and a bunch of football games all the time. As far as movies, I don't really have one favorite movie. I just remember that when one of the best movies when The Matrix came out, it was just a mind-blowing movie. I've never seen nothing like that in my life. And there's one movie that just kind of sticks in my head forever. When I first seen that movie, it kind of blew me away. I was back in college. It was one of the best movies at the time. And, I always like to kind of put that up there.
All right, what is your favorite thing to eat?
Favorite thing to eat? Really, anything my wife wants to cook. I love steaks. I love steaks. Filet mignon. I always love to eat that. I think that's probably one of my favorites, if I had to say.
All right, Chris, we know you're very athletic. What is your favorite sport outside of football?
Basketball. No doubt. Hands down. I love basketball. I try to play to this day when I can. And, I always felt like I would have been a really good basketball player in college if I really had the opportunity to play 4 years. I never know what it would have took me, but I'm only 6 foot tall. So I think I made a good decision just sticking with football.
If you could meet any famous person, who would it be and why?
Oh, man, that's so tough. So many people. Right now, I'm just going to go with the people that's hot right now, and I will go ahead and say our lovely president here that hails from somewhere up where you at right now, Barack Obama. I think it would be really cool to meet him.
All right, do you have a New Year's resolution? I mean, the new year just started, 2013. Chris Chambers, do you have a New Year's resolution?
I have a few of them. I do want to get myself back in shape. I'm probably 20 pounds overweight. It's a New Year's resolution for a lot of people, and I'm really going to take it serious. And I want to get myself back in shape. I want to see how I feel. Get back to my playing weight. You never know where it takes me from there. And, really to just be a better person, better person, better husband, better father, and to do things the right way. And I just try to keep it simple, just like in my career. My goals are always to be better than I was the year before, and I was able to achieve that a few times in my career.
All right, and last but not least, what is something about Chris Chambers that many people do not know about?
Something about, one thing is that I played basketball in college. I mean, no one knows that one. That's one of the ones. I think that's probably the biggest one. Just the fact that I did do 2 sports in college. I wasn't, people don't really know that as much or know that I was a gifted athlete and able to do that. So I think that's probably one of them.
All right, man, you have your own gym called Chamber Fitness. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Chambers Fitness, as my transition out of my NFL career, I was trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. And I got with a couple of people who, a guy who started training me a little bit when I thought about getting back into the NFL. And he was so inspirational to me. He had a lot of talent. He did a lot of training things that I've never seen before, which I was very inspired from. He has a UK background. And between him and a couple other guys who shared the same vision that I had, it kind of turned into this spectacle type of place, a high-performance training facility for the youth between 8 and 18, the adult fitness, the pro guys, and it's kind of a combination of all of them in one facility. And to be able to have we have a medical staff inside the performance training facility and an outdoor training area, and all in one in Davie, Florida, where I'm well respected at here down there. This is where the Miami Dolphins practice at. A lot of people know me here, and it's just been a blessing to be able to transition out of the NFL to something I love doing, to be able to help kids, to be able to help adults, to be able to help young college guys get ready for the NFL and, maybe become something in their life. And I'm very inspired to do that, and right now this is my purpose.
Mm-hmm. Chris, you also have your own foundation called the Chris Chambers Foundation, Catch 84. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. Catch 84 Children Achievement Through Community Help. Once again, I was always big in the community, and I just loved helping kids and helping people. And one thing we love doing, financial awareness, financial fitness is like what we call it, where we just give kids in high school the opportunity to learn about different financial education, things that they will have to know in their life that may not be told until they're pretty much, in college or out of college or experiencing for themselves. So we try to give them the first step up there. A lot of mentoring programs, and
Chris, it was such an honor to have you on the show tonight, man. I really appreciate it. Before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like to let myself and our listeners know about?
For the most part, like I said, I'm glad that people really appreciate my career. I felt like that I put it all on the table when I had the opportunity. I never really complained about anything. I just wanted to be a good teammate and a good person. And I'm glad to be on the show with you. I wish you luck in your career, man. I feel like you're definitely on your way. And hopefully we can stay in touch and I can get back on the show and you continue to do your thing.
That sounds great, Chris. Thanks again so much. I really appreciate it, and we will stay in touch, my friend. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.